The rain wasn't just falling from the sky, it was crashing down inside him. Every drop that hit the pavement echoed the same truth he was trying to ignore. He had failed again. The glass doors behind him closed with a soft click, but to him, it sounded like the final chapter of hope slamming shut. His shirt clung to his body, soaked through, his tie hanging loose like it had given up too. In his hand, a worn-out briefcase, the only thing that hadn't left him yet. He didn't look back. He couldn't, because if he did, he might break. Zain had learnt a long time ago that life doesn't wait for you to catch your breath. It keeps moving, whether you're ready or not. And for him, life had been running a marathon with no finish line. A few years ago, everything had been different. He had a small but stable job, a loving wife, and a little daughter whose laughter filled their tiny apartment with light. They weren't rich, but they were happy. Until one day, everything was taken away. The accident didn't just take his wife. It took his sense of direction, his comfort, his future. Overnight, Zain became both father and mother. He became the protector, the provider, the comfort, and the strength for a little girl who didn't understand why her mother wasn't coming back. But he didn't have time to grieve, because grief doesn't pay bills. He worked wherever he could. Delivery jobs at night, temporary labor during the day, anything that could keep food on the table. Sleep became a luxury he couldn't afford. But no matter how tired he was, he always came home with a smile, because waiting for him at the door was his daughter, Aya. And every night, before falling asleep, she would look at him with innocent eyes and say, "Dad, you're the strongest person in the world." Those words were the only reason he kept going. But strength has limits, and today he had reached his. This was his 4th interview this month, 4th rejection. Different offices, different faces, but the same words every time. "We'll get back to you." He knew what it meant. No one was getting back to him. As he stepped into the rain, he didn't bother opening his umbrella. Maybe he wanted the rain to hide the tears he refused to let fall. Each step felt heavier than the last. Not because of the rain, but because of the weight of disappointment. He imagined Aya waiting for him, probably sitting by the window, hoping that today her father would bring good news. But what would he tell her? That he wasn't strong enough? That he had failed again? "Stop!" The voice cut through the rain like a sharp blade. Zain ignored it at first. Maybe it wasn't for him. Wait! This time it was closer. He slowed down, then stopped. For a moment he stood still, unsure whether to turn around. And then he did. A woman was running toward him, her heels splashing through puddles, her hair damp, her expression urgent. She wasn't just anyone. She was the CEO of the company he had just walked out of. A billionaire. A name that appeared in business magazines, headlines, success stories. But right now, she didn't look like a powerful CEO. She looked like someone who was about to lose something important. She finally reached him, slightly out of breath, rain soaking her clothes just like his. "Why did you leave?" she asked. Zain let out a faint, tired smile. "Because I was rejected." The rain fell harder, as if the sky itself was listening. She stared at him for a moment, then shook her head. "No, you weren't," Zain frowned. "What? You did something in that interview, something no one else did." "I just told the truth," he replied quietly. "And that," she said, her voice firm, "is exactly why you stood out." Zain didn't understand. If honesty was so valuable, why did it always cost him opportunities? Why did the world reward those who pretended and reject those who were real? He looked at her, confusion written all over his face. She took a deep breath, as if deciding something important. "Do you know why I called you for this interview?" "For the job," he said. She shook her head slowly. "No." There was a pause, filled only with the sound of rain. "I called you because you reminded me of someone." Zain stayed silent. "My father," she continued, her voice softer now. "He was just like you. Honest, simple, always putting others before himself." Her eyes drifted for a moment, as if she was looking at a memory instead of the man standing in front of her. "When he got sick, we didn't have money. No one helped us. Not friends, not relatives, no one." Her voice cracked slightly, but she didn't stop. "I watched him struggle. I watched him lose hope. And that day, I promised myself that if I ever got the chance, I would become powerful enough to make sure no one like him would be left behind again." Zain felt something shift inside him. For the first time in a long time, someone understood. "And today," she said, looking directly at him, "when I saw you sitting there, answering every question honestly, even when it made you look less impressive, I saw him again." The rain had softened now. The chaos of the moment had turned into something calm, something meaningful. "You didn't try to impress us," she continued. "You didn't pretend to be perfect. You were real." Zain swallowed hard. No one had ever said that to him before. No one had ever seen his honesty as strength. "You have the job." The words hit him like thunder. "What?" he whispered. "You're hired," she said clearly. "Effective immediately." Zain stood there, frozen. It didn't feel real. After months of rejection, after endless struggle, was this actually happening? "But," she added, raising a finger slightly, "there's one condition." His heart skipped a beat. "Never lose this honesty. No matter how high you go, never become someone you're not." Zain's eyes filled with tears, but this time he didn't hide them. Because for the first time, they weren't tears of defeat. They were tears of hope. Life didn't change overnight, but slowly it started to. Zain worked harder than ever, not because he had to, but because he wanted to prove that her belief in him wasn't a mistake. He stayed late, learned everything he could, asked questions, made mistakes, and grew from them. People began to notice, not just his work, but his character, his honesty, his dedication, his resilience. And over time, he became one of the most trusted people in the company. But his greatest achievement wasn't his position. It wasn't his salary. It wasn't the respect he earned. It was a simple moment. One evening at home, Aya ran to him as soon as he opened the door, her face glowing with excitement. "Dad," she shouted, "you look happy today." Zain knelt down, pulling her into his arms, and for the first time in years, he truly was. Years passed. Zain rose through the ranks, eventually holding a key position in the company. He built a stable life for his daughter, gave her the childhood she deserved, and never let her feel the emptiness he once carried. But he never forgot that day, that rainy afternoon, the moment when he was ready to give up, and someone chose to see him instead. Because sometimes, life tests you not to break you, but to reveal who you really are. And just when you think it's over, that's when everything begins. If this story touched your heart even a little, comment "Never give up" below, so this message can reach more people who need it. There are moments in life when you feel invisible, when it seems like no one sees your struggle, your effort, your pain. But trust this, someone, somewhere is watching. And one day, at the right moment, they will see you. They're meant to be felt. And maybe the next story will be yours.